If you want to pass a law in the United States, you go to Congress. And when you go to Congress, it gets approved and goes to the House. And then when it goes to the House, then you send it to the president's desk. And then the president can either veto it or he signs it into law. If he vetoes it, that is the way of saying he has canceled the law. So it goes back to the Senate. And if it cannot get more than 2/3 of a majority approval, that's it. The law is done. That is how you pass laws. Notice how I said laws. How do you pass an executive order? You just sign a piece of paper if you're the president, and then bam! Next thing you know, English is the official language and we get Gulf of America. I wanted to talk about executive orders today because that's all I see on my news feed right now. And I was just casually chilling, just doing my thing on YouTube, doing my thing, New York Times, just scrolling around because that's where I get my news from. And I just see another thing, executive order. I didn't even finish the article because I was just so turned off. I was so turned off because what difference does this make? If our problems could be solved by just signing a piece of paper, I guarantee you we would not have had the 2008 financial crisis. I guarantee you by executive order, the pandemic would have gone away. What? People were dying on the streets of the pandemic? Oh, just sign an executive order. All the problems are fixed. Oh, wait, you can't? Oh man, student loans are a problem? That's okay, we can just do executive order. Oh my gosh, there's trillions and trillions of dollars of debt in the system? Don't worry, executive order. I think why I feel this way about executive orders, because it's so cumbersome. It's so tiring. It's kind of at this point, I see the word executive order, it doesn't even mean anything to me anymore. And I think the thing that also frustrates me more is that all it takes is somebody from a different party. All it takes is a Democrat to come in and undo everything. As if the last 4 years were nothing. The Gulf of America could be Gulf of Mexico again because that wasn't an act of Congress. That was an executive order. Trump just said, oh, the Department of Interior, boom. And then Google lined up and then Apple Maps lined up to change it. It could be Gulf of Tacos. It could be Gulf of Burgers. It could be Gulf of it could be Mar-a-Lago, Gulf of Mar-a-Lago. He could just put his own golf course in the body of water, and that's the new Gulf of Mexico, which is now Gulf of America. And with these executive orders, it makes me think that sometimes when people want to change something and they see a problem, sometimes you're just too far divorced from what's actually going on. Because while I love all these executive orders that are going, he's signed, so he's actually on pace to break the record for the most. I think with FDR, I saw a graphic where man's just going up and to the right. It's like an exponential curve almost. And while I think it's great that he is trying to do these problems, we're trying to solve these problems, I think he's too far removed from some of the things because man's a billionaire. Man doesn't have to worry about rent. Man doesn't have to worry about where his next meal is going to come from. Man doesn't have to worry about, if his car breaks down, he's kind of screwed over. I don't even think Trump knows how to drive. When's the last time this man's driven a car? I say these things not because I'm not even here to say, that's why we need the Democrats. That's why you should go to the other, because those people are bozos too. They don't know what they're doing either. So if you walk away from my videos, me being critical of the president, thinking I'm telling you to go to the other side of the aisle, you completely missed the point, and I am so sorry about that. I think that when I point out these problems, it's because I want people to know that it's gonna take a whole lot more than just signing something and then just doing a photo op and hoping that everything is fixed. That's just not how problems go. And the point I was trying to make is, since Trump is kind of divorced from these problems, where is the executive order to make housing cheaper? Last time I checked, these egg prices, what's going on with that? Why isn't there an executive order to make more chickens, make more eggs? Which came first, a chicken, egg? Who knows? I think an executive order could figure that out. And you're not gonna ever see executive orders for things that you deal with day to day, because he's not thinking about the common person. He's not thinking about what you have to do every day. He's not thinking about, dang, like, why is it that my homeowner insurance, why is it that my rent keeps going up? Man, this student loan, all these things. He's not thinking, because he's never had to deal with these problems. So why would he even try to solve them? Even the way he's tackling immigration. Well, it's great that he's trying to, do these things without whatever. What we also need to talk about is legal immigration too. I can't tell you how many friends I have, my friend who are PhD students, master's degrees, and they're struggling to really get a green card or get it because they're on the list. And I'm not saying I'm an expert, and I'm not saying I have the solution, but I'm saying that it's complicated and it's messy and it's icky. And that there are people who are more than qualified to do certain things, and they just can't. They legitimately can't, because they're either on a list, or have to do this, they have to wait, they have to do that. And there is no one side. You can't just sign an executive order, let them all in, open the floodgates. That doesn't solve anything. It's just that these problems are deeply, deeply systemic. And maybe, I don't know if this is controversial, but maybe we need people who are experienced politicians who know how Washington works to be in the White House. Maybe. Or maybe we need people who have backgrounds in law. Or better yet, why not, if you become president, you got to take a 1-year refresher course. You got to take, let's say, okay, you get inaugurated, but you got to pass a test. We got to give out, because think about it. If you got to drive, you got to pass a test. If you want to be a citizen of this country, you got to pass a test. Why is it that if you want to be leader of the free world, we give it out for free? It's like hotcakes. All you have to do is win a popularity contest, and then bing, bang, boom. You got the keys to the White House and the new codes. I look at all of this, and I can't even say I'm burned out, because he's going to pass an executive order that I guarantee you I'm going to talk about, because why not? Why not talk about it? Because the headline's just going to be, it's just going to shock me. I'm just going to be chilling, scrolling, and then I'm just going to see this thing, and then I want to make a video about it. And I just wanted to say this because I think when I see these executive orders, I don't really see how this moves the needle. Where is it that when you read a history book, did civil rights end by executive order? Did slavery end by executive order? Did women get the right to vote by executive order? Big accomplishments within our country. Or were they acts of Congress and that required protesting and required monumental change? And that is what I am getting at. Now, yes, Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, that may have been executive order. Okay, you got me there. Man like Abraham Lincoln freeing the slave. Okay, you got me. Checkmate. I lost. But I know that these executive orders, while they might sound great and you might agree with them, you should really ask, what's really changed since they've been signed? Thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked, please, my socials will be linked down below and at the end of this video. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back on Friday, and I can't wait to see you again. Thank you so much for watching.